Welcome back to the DreamHack Open featuring Fortnite, where we are in day number 2, the final day of our North American East competitions. We've had tens of thousands of players compete yesterday in our Open qualifiers, but now we're looking at the top 1,500 to see who will be the final 100 to make it to our grand finals. I'm your host, Kelly Link. Joining me, it's none other than Sancho, West, and Sundown. And pretty good game so far there. A 12 elimination game in the semifinals is definitely something that's a little bit impressive, right?
I mean, Crunchy was looking crunchy and clean and smooth, whatever kind of peanut butter you want. He had it on deck right there. And that final shot, being able to close it out, like you can see in the leaderboards on the side, he's going to end up being on the top spot. And like you said, it's more about that momentum rolling, right? You get into that first game in the semifinals, you get a victory royale and a bunch of eliminations under your belt. Then all of a sudden that climb for the top 100 doesn't look as daunting, right? You can afford to have one or two not necessarily as good games because you've already banked that really solid one in your back pocket.
Yeah, let's take a quick look at our top 20 leaderboard right now so that we can jump back into the games as soon as possible, chat. But like Sundown was just saying, Crunchy, with a great, impressive 12 elimination victory royale, does solidify himself in first place right now with 120 points. But Commandment, always in the top 5 right there, is going to be in second place, 15 points behind Crunchy. We have Cobalt in third, Castery in fourth, and Ramsey in fifth. Sancho, though, a few other names that we all recognize here in the top 20.
Oh, I see him. I see Zayt hanging out there. I see Avery. The big dogs are coming out here. I see Slacks as well, and Bully. And of course, FDR for the Storm as well being there. So it's like all the big names are coming up right now. And this is why. It's because, you know, the DreamHack Open, anyone can sign up, anyone can register, anyone can have their chance to make an appearance here at the semifinals. But once you get all that out the way, when it comes down to the semifinals, you're going to see the best of the best going toe-to-toe, like we saw Unknown and Calc go toe-to-toe in our first frame.
Woo, can't wait to see them again, and I'm sure we're going to see a bunch of incredible plays going on right now because it is ready. Guys, we're ready to jump into our second game. Sancho, Sundown, thank you guys for joining me. I'll see you after the game.
Thank you so much, Kelly. And I'm excited to see what happens here in match number 2. Don't forget, with the top 1,500 players going on, it's not quite set lobbies here. So we're just going to be catching some of the full games, keeping an eye on the key players, the movers, the shakers, and what that top 100 line looks over the course of these semifinals, because that's what matters. And that's what it takes to get into the grand finals. And right now you can see the bus path on this for this particular game is going to be working from the southwest towards the northeast, just a little bit north of Dirty Docks. So pretty central and positive for everyone in this game. We have Gambit's Tooth and TSM's Commandment, top right and bottom right respectively. And these are two players who Tooth had a brilliant performance yesterday in a huge clutch to secure that victory royale in a spot here. What part of the EU invasion coming on board. And then Commandment, somebody who's been around for a long time when it comes to the solos and heading straight over towards Caddy Corner. And Tooth is with them, as well as 4, 5, 6 other players. 7, 8, 7. Looks like it'll be 7 players ultimately around the area. 4 going straight into the POI.
Wow, and we saw Avery as well. And what a tale of two different sides of the coin. Commandment with 100 points, while Toos only have 10, now picking up 15. And Toos, you know, coming from the EU side of things, most of the top EU players relied more on placement points than elim points. So it's interesting to see Toos land here at Caddy Corner. No doubt knowing he has to overcome that situation. And Commandment right now is trying to overcome CMXR right now as he's on a back foot. And Toos is going to go ahead and go back into the RB right there as Commandment puts a big 117, and Toos gets the green light to go in third party. But here comes the henchman, that deadly henchman AI that could ruin your run very quickly. We did see Zayt and Staff run into some of the issues at the ninja battles, but now Commandment and Toos, and Commandment gets a couple of tags right there. And now we're just gonna have like a little 1v1 situation here on this side of it, and Toos is relentless going against Commandment, trying to get that high ground and take advantage of Commandment fleeing away from not only Toos, but the AI.
Yeah, and he has to know that Commandment is actually super low on builds. He's seen him switch through multiple times, just barely able to get the builds there. And it's the right back. 136 finds the 29 headshot as well, but Toos sticks with it in 23 HP, being the difference maker. But he needs to be careful with that henchman right there. He's just going to box him out, down him, and say, no. We're not. Nobody's put me on any highlight reel. We're not giving the AI the 5 points. We'll be okay. He's going to shield himself back up. make sure he gets up to that 100 effective mark, and then he'll be able to clean it out. He's walking away from caddy corner now, but it wasn't just the people landing in the POI. As you see in the bottom right-hand corner, there's about 3 other players nearby, but let's hop on over to 100 Thieves Arkham, who is way on out here, but he's also very much so alone.
Arkham, one of the few players in the Fortnite scene to qualify for almost every major Fortnite event's grand final, looking to do it on his different side of ping there in the NA East. Former champion for DreamHack. This is every time in the NA West, you know Arkham is going to have it locked down for his Asylum. I had to throw that in there. One of the favorite games that I like is Arkham's Asylum, and 100 Thieves is going to be looking very, very closely, and no doubt going to give him the props if he comes out on top here in the DreamHack Open in NA East. Now back on board with Toos, who's been pepperfied. He's going to have about a minute of fast-paced movement, and let's see how long he has left in the tank as Zaki is in his sights. He's setting up the ambush play. I think Zaki does see somebody. No, I don't think he's unaware of Toos's presence. Let's see. Toos has to be careful, though. You know, considering that he's on higher ping, does get some nice stats, opens up the engagements, gets the blue tags, and now with the quick 180, flick of the wrist, gets that charged shotgun hit, and Toos going from 10 points now to 15 in his second game here this round.
Yeah, good little ambush from Toos there, being able to pick that one up, particularly being against a longer range weapon and not having something to really set up that first shot accuracy kind of opportunity. He did a good job making sure he landed the shots and then following up with that bonus speed of the pepper to close the gap before Zaki was really able to like fully react and just close that backside. So a little bit of a misplay from Zaki, but Toos very much so good enough to capitalize on it. And now 3 eliminations for him, taking what was 10 points going into his second game and now pushing all the way up to 25. So good job so far. As you can see, this game a little bit of a quicker pace. So far 77 players still up.
And already, you know, we're thinking about what is the number to qualify you to the grand finals. And a lot of the analytical players out there, the analytical community, have estimated around 300 or so to be able to advance. We already saw Crunchy able to get about a third of that with plenty of games left. So Toos has a bit of way to go to work on to get to the top, but he has it in him. Speaking of other players that have it in him, it's Polarized. Polarized with 82 points, has a great start himself, going up against Green here. It's gonna have a nice opportunity to look for that good hit. Now, what I like about the charged shotgun is that a fantastic defensive weapon. If you could time and predict your player, the enemy's movements, you could put a big tag. Don't sleep on the common charged shotgun, especially fully charged, could do some damage. And Polarized is gonna try to find this opening. And the reach of that sundown is kind of insane, and you know, it's very unpredictable that you all of a sudden get hit with a big time shot from a distance.
You know, a lot of people also underestimate how much the non-headshots end up hurting. But as I say that, Polarized hits a huge headshot anyway. And NM Green, not looking so green there. Renegade. He's going to get taken down right away. And Polarized hitting that Renegade, letting him know he sees what's up. Going to take him down, and particularly over in Slurpee, going to have plenty of excess resources. Now we see NorCal Kamare trying to get a nice little fight over here on Dirt Z to 5-9. In Llama, Tuesday, actually see him picking up another elim in the feed there. So we close in on top 70. So still 21 players to go down before we get into those placement points. But Kamari looking to get a piece of the action right here. Hunting rifle shot does not find a connection here. So Spray does continue finding out. Instead, the singular burst from that double burst fire weapon will get him an elim. Can he follow it up with something else? See if he can't quickly grab the rocket launcher and use this to get in. You can see firing it towards the backside of the zone. Wall replaced. Does get a ramp thrown in his face. Player goes above him. Good job from Kamari. Just kind of disengaged, but not really getting any amount of piece control that would allow him to kind of aggress on this fight. You can see charge shotgun on the other side from Llama. So Kamari's going to want to close the distance, but be wary of that big one shot. As long as he can kind of keep the fire and keep the pressure down. There's that big shot we talked about, and not really going to be traded out. So Kamari looking a little hesitant here, but now going to go back up on the aggressive foot. Gets a good wall replace shot, not coming out from Llama. Third party coming in, and FA Den trying to get a piece of the action. Kamari barely surviving there with a 17 HP, and Den seeing the white tags is going to look to continue following up on this.
And you're seeing the difference between the tack and the charge shotgun. The tack, you're gonna have to get a little bit closer as you can mostly do pepper damage. And here comes the crash pad trying to get in. Nice defensive switch away from Kamari. Nice extension to get away to give himself some room to breathe. He does have the necessary materials and heals and shields to get himself back up to 200, but will Den give him the opportunity to do so? So far, Den is saying no. I'm not gonna allow you to get it up to full strength. And he's using a lot of utility here, so he's very heavily invested. An investment pays off for at least 5 points, and that's going to be 20 points total here for the semifinals for Den. But he still has plenty of mobility, so no wonder he was using some of it during this fight, knowing that it was worth the investment to get on those points. And now he walks away from that successful third party. Another battle coming out here is Avery. Avery with 95 points, so a great start to his day. Now it's going up against, it looks like a Philippe Asian here. Gonna get him down to whites, and it's gonna be a matter of moments if Avery can continue the chase down. Almost there, got this guy on the ropes. He's gonna try to hack him down. No opportunities left. No hard match for Avery as well. He has to be careful. I'm not quite sure what Filipino Asian has in his kit, but he goes for the high one. Big time play with the crash pad, and goodness gracious, has 10 crash pads. He's gonna be set up for a lot of mobility in the end game, and Avery gets that 5 points and continues on here in this match.
And that's a really good job from Avery to make sure he crash padded up, but he got to the apex of his jump kind of right as he got to the top of the opponent's box. Didn't give his opponent enough time to react to the fact he was there. He was close range with the attack shot and more than enough to be able to clean that one up. So really good job coming through there to isolate that fight. And again, towards the outside of Caddy, and while not necessarily going to be able to pick up the loot, he's going to have a ton of space to max up on his materials. You can see there, currently in another lobby, Team Solo Mids Commandment, aka TSM_Commandant, 7, 8 elims in the victory royale, cleaning that one up. So he's going to continue his run of just positively dominating basically every open and semifinal competition. But right now, Two's great job editing down his opponent. Again, it's going to be tack against charge. Not going to be able to find the shots there is John Santana, but the question is, will John be able to play that beautiful music and find a way to pick this up? Oh, I apologize, Santana, but still, joke still kind of applies as Toos out of match, so needs to find it, and he does. Really big elim there, but his opponent was also completely out of build. You can see that as the fact that he only got the 15 extra from the siphon. So when you limit a player going through, you get 50 either HP or shields, whichever one you need more, prioritizing health first, and then also it'll drop 15 builds on the ground. However, that's now all he has to work with, so we're gonna hop on board here with 100 Thieves Arkham. He's gonna look to set up a vertical crash pad down, gonna go straight into the box. Cypher Bobby gets popped up into the air, and it's just a quick little game of duck hunt where Arkham gets 2. Can he find the high score? Not gonna find the 3rd and pick up the combo, so gonna need to play another level and see if he can eliminate Bobby here. The crash pad combo coming through again, and there it is. Good job closing that one out and putting that epic pistol to work.
Shout out to FaZe's Destiny Jesus, the coach from FaZe, showing the importance of a pistol. And we're taking a look in the other lobby here. Benji, looks like Benji himself picking up a 3 eliminations victory royale. So Benji, the EU evasion continues, and Benji picks up a nice one right then and there. But yeah, Destiny Jesus made a Twitter post about how the epic pistol, or the pistols in general, are slept on, especially you get some strong ones outside of some epic chests and things and whatnot. So Destiny Jesus and Arkham showing the prowess of that pistol.
Yeah, and the reason being, we've talked about it a little bit on the FNCS broadcast. In Chapter 2, Season 3, the assault rifles have been changed to have a headshot multiplier of only 1.5. That means the headshots on them are less valuable. However, standing still is always going to be invaluable when somebody has a hunting rifle on the other side of it, as Wakey continues the EU invasion, gonna convert there. It just goes to show, towards the outside of zones, you can't take those shots ever. Like, you might get away with it once or twice, but the odds that you actually convert that into a reasonable elimination are very, very, very slim. Whereas somebody with a hunting rifle, just putting their cursor on top of the head and pulling the trigger is really, really, really easy. And the compared return on investment is just not in your favor 99 times out of 100. And Wakey going to take advantage of that, convert into his 3rd elimination. 30 points so far, so a rough first game, but looking to get rolling here as we still have 58 players remaining, which means placement points haven't begun to tick over yet. However, we are closing in on that line.
Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey. What a great start right now. Wakey from the EU, trying to rev it up as fast as he can. Was one of the top players, winner of the FNCS squads, finished 24th in the DreamHack Online in July on his EU region. Working on higher ping, but now working on trap to send him back out of the lobby. He's gonna definitely have does not have the high ground advantage, but that's okay. Now backboard on Toos. You know what's interesting though, is where is Kit's Kit? Toos did win the engagement against Commandment, was able to back him away from this, but Toos has not yet able to walk away with the Shockwave launcher and the mythical charge shotgun here, Sundown.
Yeah, I think it ended up going down to whoever was here initially right off of the rip. I think Toos was the player who ended up coming in and playing that third-party situation. I don't think he landed right up at the weather station. I believe he was just to the camp on the side of that. But by that time, Kit's loot is 110% going to be gone, with at least 2 or 3 players typically landing on her usual spawn points. Something we've seen a lot of players do, trying to map out kind of where Kit in Jules and Ocean can kind of spawn, so you're able to get that opportunity right away. But Toos now in a little bit of a dangerous spot here, as Hexy has an opportunity to eliminate him, but Toos, knowing that he also hit back really hard, is going to capitalize there and take down Hexy.
Scrubs just said, no, I don't want any part of this, and he just disengages from this fight. Thought he had an opportunity in the third party, but look at this. Look at the zone here on the bottom right of your screen, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's going to be a mountain ending, and we all know the treacherous puzzle that the mountain will be for our competitors. Not only they're going to have to navigate the elevation, but they have to be sure that they have as many resources as possible, and so many people fall to the mountain as it goes up and over. So we're going to keep an eye on that. And Toos is no doubt has to get a lot of material, only sitting on 120 builds. And he's going to get some cabbages here. Cabbages in the chat for Mr. Savage, I suppose. But again, Toos coming off a, not the kind of performance he's used to in the FNCS solos. Didn't come out of the heats, but despite all that, he was able to winning the third week. So we know that he's a caliber of player, and to be able to do this on a higher ping is quite impressive for Toos, as he laid down a couple of lines on rearranging his HP for a little bit. And Toos is on the loose. I like this play right now. I like the aggressiveness, considering that most of the EU players are playing for placement, but I think Toos is just feeling super confident here, Sundown.
Toot all aboard the Toos caboose, because he's letting loose and nobody wants to get in his way. This man's a charging moose, able to barely survive there with 14 HP, gonna pick up all the extra cabbages, leaving no question as to where they went, and finding a good priority area. And you can tell based off of his loadout that he's looking to fight, looking to take these exchanges, utilizing the crash pads to get in the boxes, having the excess shields and the excess white HP, knowing that he can afford to get in, use the high rate of fire weapons, and look to convert. And right now, Wick and Mini Isaac trading back these sniper shots, which is always a risky proposition. You never really want to kind of get into those battles, because yes, the return on investment in terms of if you hit a shot is great, but I feel like it's just never worth catching one of those, especially now as we hit the top 50. So no Storm Surge in play, but now every single player who goes down here will turn into a point, and Isaac trying to turn into a nice little 6 points there, as he was the one who got the body shot, but was he the one who get the last shot on track? And he did get the last shot onto him. It was not the snipe going through. Storm will end up taking him over there. So good little 6-point swing coming through for Isaac.
I want to take a look, as we're seeing Isaac here, how the lobby is going to navigate this lobby. So the mountain, as you can see, there's a lot of congestion already on top of it, as a lot of players were kind of fighting for that prime real estate, and the circle reveals itself. It's going to go down into the strange divot. We saw this on Heat 2. This kind of mountainside beach area, and we're seeing all these players making the way. But granted, still, even though the top of the mountain is congested, you still want to fight for that area, considering that if it has some strange or weird way pulls back up the mountain, it's got a lot of things are going to be happening right now, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to see a lot of chaos. And even though the lobby looks very stacked right now, about 48 people, this mountain is going to do its thing and eliminate so many. As you can see, that west side on the bottom right, is so heavily congested, and a lot of players are still walking up to the zone, as we're seeing Wakey and Willie exchanging bullets side to side, not being friendly neighbors. Albo sitting in the cone, watching it all down below, trying to see if he has an opportunity to surprise somebody. He has the kit to do it. He does have the mobility. As you can see, we got one more second, and there the zone is closing. So now we're gonna get into the dreaded 4th zone, and the 5th is about to reveal. And we see Arkham still alive, and a nice little, I guess, catacomb buildings here, like a nice apartment being built by our players here, Sundown.
Yeah, and everyone just trying to Billy go on up on the edge of this ledge, because as you talked about, it is much easier to work from the top down. You even saw the one player who is all the way on the eastern side rotate kind of towards that southwest corner of the mountain. So recognizing that if it pulls down towards the southeast, everyone's fine, they'll move down. But if it goes back up, you're going to need a plan to get up pretty much immediately. So everyone who is down there from basically Nutex and below is going to be in danger depending on where this 5th circle reveals. And right now, Isaac immediately in danger as Abo going to clean him up there, going to get whatever extra utility he can and trying to create some space here. Wakey, though, also here. You can see there is a wall actually in between them. We will wait here as the server's going to catch up, and Wakey will go down. Abo, good job executing in that close range fight. We'll find the charge shots to take him down, and we'll have the 5th circle reveal. So what's the question? Where are we going? We're going way out to the east. So the question is, how do you get down there, and what utility do you have to burn to work top down? Because if it comes back over, or if it moves north, that zone's going to be incredibly difficult to navigate. Because now we're on board here with the Frenchman, Grizzy Bad Sniper, who's on the other side of this box from Avery and potentially could be looking for an ambush.
Speaking of Albo was a new player, made his big tournament appearance in the FNCS Solos Heats, didn't advance, but so far putting on a nice performance. And here is what we're talking about. Everyone Billy Goat, everyone having these nice areas here. Now they have different options. They could go ahead and crash pad down. They could do a free falling pad or an arrow pad, whatever you want to call it, to kind of vault their way down quickly. But they want to save as much material as possible just in case the zone goes back up here. But having a water ending look at it, about 80% of it is kind of occupied by the water, and there's still a nice cavernous valley here that you definitely want to avoid if you could kind of park his way up. But Toos is having a free glide. Everyone's so occupied with this crazy zone, they're not even trying to shoot Toos, who's been floating up in the air like Mary Poppins, and no one's taking shots at him, Sundown.
And that's what he's looking to do now, is to just maintain the high ground opportunity. He's going to challenge up here, just try and box off. This is actually EU on EU. This is Bad Sniper on the other side of this. Who will win? Is it the Russian or the Frenchman? And the Frenchman's going to take him down there. Bad Sniper converting on a huge fight, but then immediately gets taken down by Strafe. So kind of the fight coming out for the high ground is going to result in neither one of them taking it. So interesting decision to end up committing to the fight there, but I honestly would have just burned the crash pad and gone for the long rotation, then utilized the launch pad afterward. However, saw an opportunity to try and control the high ground. Arkham now on the low ground, and we are going north back over all of those mountaintops. So it's going to force a ton of utility and action out of players on the low ground as Scrubs does get taken down. We're on board here with Arkham in that bottom right-hand corner. You can see him trying to navigate this maze of builds. So many players kind of on that low ground, and you can see Strafes all the way up on the backside high ground. Postic has the low ground control on the front, and then Scraps, Nutex, Abo, and Avery have priority on the rotation back up the mountain.
We were talking about where is Kit's kit, and it is in Arkham's hands. The NA West champion here, trying to make a comeback, only finished second in the FNCS solos. So Arkham is trying to claim his prize to get that signature win here, and he does use a nice use right there. He does have a pad if he wants to get higher and higher. Storm Surge is available, has the pistol in hand, looking for some tags, trying to destroy all the utility. Hopefully the Storm finishes that for them. Now he's going to keep more tags down on the backside of the server. You can see, is he going to bolt his way up with that pad? Going to recycle this crash pad here. Bolts right up. It's looking good for Arkham. He has a lot of materials, some wise use of his material count. He's a known player that kind of economizes everything that he does, doesn't waste all that, and that is why he's always one of the top. And he's trying to be the top of the best right now in the NA East for the DreamHack Open. Popstick on the top, Strafes on top, Den is still alive. Arkham is now close to height. It's a battle between Popstick, Arkham, and I think Arkham right now, Sundown, is just going to wait for the perfect opportunity to take away height, knowing that he has the explosive materials and the shockwave launcher. Popstick is in his sights, and now is Arkham's way to win this lobby, because considering that the zone now rotates back down south and is sitting up near the top.
You can see just going to work with that epic pistol, finding tags and tags again. Posick is still hanging out just above him, going to opt to crash pad down. Not going to find any necessarily connection onto Posick here as we do catch up here for a second. You can see he's trying to use the shockwave launcher to break through Posick's build and force him down. Every time he does that, he's forcing an entire full tarp out of Posick. Posick going to trade a crash pad to say, nope, changing layers. High ground's all yours now. As you can see, Arkham trying to force strafes off. We have Avery in the top right, Arkham in your bottom right. You did have Arkham move forward and ahead of the zone. He's going to turn back around, find a nice elimination there. Top 12 coming in, top 11 now, almost into the top 10. Arkham still up on high ground with Avery, Posick, and Daniello just nearby him. Rayfla goes down, and we have our top 10.
Oh, that was disgusting. He was just peppering him with the pistol, and he closes it out with a charged shotgun. And this is right here is going to be Arkham's way. It's going to make his way all the way down, leaving Avery up at height doing the flopper play. Avery coming in 20th in the DreamHack and NA West back in a couple of weeks ago. So this is his opportunity to show out in the NA East. And Avery now comes on down, gets a nice hit on Arkham. It's a battle between Arkham and Avery. The two going toe-to-toe. Arkham's going to kind of go back to height. Nice block from Avery, not letting Arkham get any kind of major hits, but Arkham now is in trouble, almost out of shield, and now Avery capitalizing on the situation as Danilo and Miro are battling it down below. We got two Titans fighting up top, and Arkham flies back out, has to come back in, and Arkham's in trouble here, Sundown. Down goes Arkham. Oh, wait, no, he's still alive. Down to the pixels, and Avery and Arkham send themselves away, and Arkham finally goes down to the storm, and Avery's going to be able to come back, and now it's a battle between Avery and Miro here in this game 2 of the semifinals.
I'm pretty sure Miro is out of builds and only has that crash pad to try and get up vertically. So as soon as Avery shoots that out, I'm not sure Miro has any way to get up this hill. And as that zone narrows, he's going to be forced up into an engagement. You see the last of his builds being forced out there. Did swap from metal over to wood. Instead, he's actually just going to rotate right around the outside, dips into the zone, has the flopper. Now he goes for the high ground. You can see finds a big shot on Avery and backs him down. Good job from Miro. Avery, desperation play, has the flopper. Zone's closing out though. Miro doesn't have any way to get it. He's trying to find whatever shots he can, but Avery knows it's victory as long as he waits. You don't have to find the shot, and he has it. He gets the elim too. He tagged him long enough ago. Avery, 6 eliminations, the victory royale, 185 points. That's enough from game 2. We're going to go to a quick break, and then we'll be right back.